Senate Bill 2994. The chair lays out Senate Bill 2994 and recognizes Senator Johnson.
Never supposed to ask questions before your bill comes up.
That's right.
This bill's about energy efficiency. We do have existing energy efficiency in the state of Texas. Why have it at all? We are in an environment of electricity scarcity and growing demand. A kilowatt saved is a kilowatt built. That's one reason we have energy efficiency. Another reason we have energy efficiency is when you use less electricity, you spend less money on electricity. This is good cost benefit for consumers. Why administer energy efficiency through the transmission and distribution utilities as we do? Because they have a long-lasting fixed relationships with the customers, and that's the system we have. And frankly, it's working. We have achieved over the past decade significant energy efficiency savings reductions. That has been beneficial, but we think we can do better. And after a very fun and thorough stakeholder process, we've learned a great deal about how we can improve energy efficiency in the state. And this bill represents the product of many hours of discussions with people coming at this from all sides of the equation. If energy efficiency what was wrong with the old goals? Generally, they were perceived to be not enough. You'll see there's some different goals this time, but more significantly than the numbers that you see is what they're linked to. In the past, our energy efficiency goals were based oddly on expected population growth or recent population growth in a given service area. Not really a whole lot to do with what we can achieve. And secondly, our energy efficiency goals in the past were affected by what's referred to as load management. And this kicks into an emergency. And the way a TDU manages outages, manages demand during an emergency can lead to significant energy savings. That's not what we're talking about, though. And most of the time, if we run our grid well and we have dispatchable energy and all the things that we're trying to do in this chamber, we're not going to have an emergency. So why is that factored into our energy efficiency goals? So what this bill does is get rid of that kind of anomalous way of looking at energy efficiency. It's not what we do in an emergency. It's what we do every day. How much does a given house use? That's the first major thing that we do. And secondly, we delink it from population growth and really correlate it more to what can we achieve given the technology, the marketing systems, and the power that is and the power market that we have available today. So we have in front of us an energy efficiency goal that is close to agreed to. We will have some testimony today. I think we have just one final change we might be making in a floor amendment. Three main things. We got rid of load management, I mentioned. We established saving goals on a level that we think utilities can actually achieve. These are aspirational, but they're not silly. We're going to set a goal to run these things getting better and better and better for the next 4 years. And then we're going to ask the PUC to take a look and say, hey, are these goals still relevant? We live at a time of explosive technological change, explosive demand. We don't really know what things are going to look like in 4 years. So we're not going to be overconfident and set things in statute for all time. We do want the PUC to come back and look at it. But those goals for increases, I want to address out front. If anybody wonders why we say we want them to get better 2.5% annually. Well, gosh, shouldn't it be 10% annually? I'd love that. But as you implement savings year after year, consider that the first year that you get more efficient is kind of easy because you were so inefficient and you get more efficient. The second year you get more efficient, it's a little harder. The third year you get more efficient, presumably you've been doing a good job and there's not much left to do. So we didn't want to be over aggressive. We didn't want to put the utilities in a position where they can't achieve the goals and we have the whole system collapse. So instead, we've done what we think is a reasonable way to move forward on this. Last thing I want to make everybody aware of, it's a complex bill. If you're having trouble sleeping, go through all 20-some pages. But breaking it into two fundamentals, we have the daily energy efficiency goals. How much energy demand is there on a daily basis? Can we reduce that somehow? And then secondly, cumulative over the course of the year, how much energy have we saved? It's not quite as direct a link as you might think for some complex factors, but those are the two things we want to look at. And we're looking at household use. There's two different ways we can consider a consumer or a small business more efficient. Do their behavioral response, right? Demand response. Are they baking cookies on a hot day, right? And that's kind of a consumer level demand response. Those things can be part of this. But also, how efficient is that oven? How efficient is that house at keeping out the cold or keeping out the heat or keeping in the air conditioning through insulation, through weather stripping? These are the kinds of things that TDUs working in conjunction with retail electric providers can offer through local programs that can make homes more efficient. Now, you're more likely to replace your Whisper Quiet Bosch dishwasher if you're affluent. So will all of the energy savings go to affluent homeowners? No, because we actually require part of the expenditures and minimum portion of the expenditures to be aimed at lower income homes so that we achieve more energy efficiency in lower income homes. And that's what gets really important because there are people struggling to pay their electric bills right now. So this energy efficiency goal is good for the grid overall, supply and demand basis, and it's good for individual consumers. With that, I know we have a lot of witnesses.
There is a committee substitute, and Senator Johnson's in the committee substitute, just so we have it out there.
The committee substitute changes the goals a little bit. There was some, I don't want to say negotiating, honestly. There was just a lot of discussion around what really is reasonable and possible. And we think that in the substitute, we've put in place some numbers that are going to be possible to achieve, but put pressure on existing utilities and REPs to make their best efforts to achieve these savings goals. One thing that we did for that cumulative savings goal over the megawatt hours over the course of a year is set a goal that is actually less than what they have been achieving, but we're projecting out 4 years, and we think it's going to be difficult for them to get to it ultimately. So I guess it was a compromise in that respect. There was another point I wanted to make before I be quiet, but I'll make it later.
All right.
Members.
Thank you, Senator. Members, questions?